camp going for you so far?
Really good, actually. Thank you.
What's kind of been the highlight for you, or just how do you view these first few weeks?
Just gelling with the guys, getting in a routine, learning the playbook with the guys, and getting on page with the quarterbacks.
What's it like being on the Rams last year, now being on the other side of these battles with the Niners?
I'm looking forward to go back there, actually. But it's been pretty good getting to gel with the guys. Like I said, it's always different, season in, season out. But getting acquainted with the guys, what I'm saying, trying to get the team ready for a run.
How acquainted do you think you've gotten with Brock Purdy? You guys obviously out there getting a lot of work done together. How does that feel so far, being that you're so new to the team?
It feels good. We get a lot of work in throughout the week. Been here since OTA, so, getting the routine, getting the routes and timing down with each other hasn't been too hard. Same kind of routine, kind of throws and stuff.
What led you to come here?
I'm sorry?
What led you to come here?
Just the opportunity, another opportunity to play ball. I love the sport. That's why I'm still out here playing year 10. Trying to get to another good team and try to make another run for Super Bowl.
Do you see a lot of similarities between the offenses and, between the head coaches and the offensive masterminds, if you will?
Yeah, it's not too different. Coming from Sean and Kyle, pretty similar. They got a few little tweaks and kinks in the different offenses, but both pretty good.
Beyond the obvious, like you have talent and ability, what do you think has allowed you to stay in the league for 10 years?
I would say just being able to make plays when the opportunity presents itself. I think that keeps people in the league long. Whenever the ball come your way, make a play, and that's what I think I've been doing the past few years. So I think that's a reason.
How are you enjoying the dynamics of the wide receivers? You have Ricky and Jake, some of the younger guys, and then you also have you and Russell Gage as the veteran guys.
It's been pretty good. Learning from the guys, it's always a different group, coming in and coming out. But the guys been really helpful. Ricky, Jawan, B.A., those guys really kind of hone in and kind of teach you the stuff, when they not around or on the field. So in the meeting rooms and stuff, we get a lot of talks in. And even on the field, they go through a lot of stuff, so you can see it hands-on.
How anxious are you just to find out, for the NFL to rule on your appeal, to find out exactly how much time you have to miss?
Pretty anxious. I'm just waiting on the outcome to see what happens with that.
How long have you been waiting to this point?
I really don't know the time frame. Just been waiting to hear from it, honestly.
Do you want to talk about just the incident at all and whether what you learned from it or going forward?
It's all up to the whatever the league says. I'm just waiting on whatever they say to when the time comes.
Following up, does anything like that or having to deal with something like that kind of loom over your head at all, have any effect on you as you're getting prepared for the season, or you kind of just are able to put it out of your mind?
Now you try to learn from it, learn from your mistakes. Teach the other guys around you not to make the same mistakes as you and kind of move on from it so you can keep a clear head and just focus on the season, focus on football.
Just out of curiosity, how pivotal is that being that y'all have so many young guys in the locker room now?
I think it's very important. The guys are just, around you to just ask questions and you give them the correct information to, not make the same mistakes.
How familiar were you with Ricky Pearsall before you got here, and what have you observed about him and his talent? What do you think he can do?
I knew he was a really good player, but seeing it in hand and his speed and how good he is in route running, I didn't really know until you really don't kind of know a guy until you see him in person and get to know him in person. But really good guy, great hands, great speed. I think he's going to be pretty good this year.
With all the quarterbacks that you played with throughout your career, what makes Brock Purdy different? What kind of distinguishes him from maybe some of the other guys?
I think he's a great quarterback. He's been to the Super Bowl. He knows how to win. He got like a dog mentality. He knows how to go after it. And when it's time to win the game, he knows how to put himself and put the team in a situation to go out and finish games.
And what's that process been like for you and him to kind of figure out what he wants from you and what you want from him?
I would say just the routine stuff, just doing it day in and day out whenever the time presents itself when we're on the field and have opportunity to make plays and, just go out and try to get open and make a play for your quarterback.
Did that chemistry seem kind of like, did it seem like you you guys bonded pretty quickly on the field?
Yeah, I think that come from doing things in OTAs when it was just offense on the field, and then having the same mentality when we did get the defense in front of us, still being able to make those routes and everything come together and gel together. So I think just over time it kind of picked up.
Some of the cornerbacks and coaches have said you're bigger and more physical than they thought you were. That's something you hear a lot over the years, or have you?
I don't know. I try to implement it into my game, whatever I can. If I need to be quicker or faster, if I do need to put a body or run through a guy's shoulder and make a tough catch, I try to do so.
Who in the defensive backs room has been the most challenged to run up against?
I would say Lenore. He's a really good cornerback, very smart, easy to get off of his lane. So I think you got to bring a lot of tools out the book when you're going against a guy like that.
Do you guys enjoy the challenge and have a little chatter back and forth during the plays?
Oh yeah, it's not really like too fussy or nothing like that. I think it's mostly like, oh, good job right there. I'll get you next play, or the same, vice versa. We just all out here trying to get better, make the team better, and we do that by competing. And that's the only way I feel like you get the best out of both sides.
Demarcus, regarding the incident last year, I'm sure you want another question about that, but you reportedly went and talked to Coach McVay and other members of the front office and addressed your team. Why was it important for you to do that, and was it hard in the moment?
Yeah, I think it's always hard when you go through something like that, to try to have to deal with that and talk about that in front of the guys. But I think it's also a learning time for myself and for the other younger guys or older guys, anybody that's in the room, just try to give them kind of like feedback on what I had and stuff like that, so nobody go through the same type of thing.
You mentioned it's year 10 for you in the league. Any advice you've given younger guys? There's a lot of young guys in your room this year. Any advice you've given them as far as camp goes?
I would say a lot of it comes in OTAs and training before we even get to OTAs. Whenever the season ends, you just try to keep your body intact and football shape, not killing yourself over the working out wise every day, all the time. Sometimes you gotta let your body rest. Your body know what it needs, and sometimes if you need to get faster or quicker or a better hand. So you just work on things that you think you need to work on, or you ask your coach, and I feel like that prepare you for the next season coming up.
How much, if any, you were always known as a guy who was aggressive and ran around, and that was never an issue. I guess, have you gotten better at the balance between being aggressive, fast, and also in control?
Yeah, I would say pretty much just what you said. I think it's just diagnosing the play quicker to allow you to play fast, but also play under control. And, I think Johnny and KJ have done a good job this offseason to help me, get to that point, and I'm definitely excited for their help.
KJ, obviously Super Bowl champion, but Seahawks, how much of an impact has he had on kind of just maybe seeing the little things that a quicker step or something like that, an angle that has really helped you to kind of?
Yeah, last year, I would always go into KJ's room if I had any questions. So, he's been there as a player. Obviously, he's done it. And, now that he's on the other side, it's, I guess, someone that we can relate to more, So, like I said, I went to him last year, and he would help me all the time. And, I appreciate him so much.
Do to hone in on your coverage skills?
To be honest, I just watched a lot of film and, found certain tendencies that running backs do, whether that be in the slot position or in the backfield, and kind of just honed on those things, and that was about it.
How much does going up against Christian McCaffrey help you really work on that?
I think he's the best one in the league. So, anytime I can get a rep with him, I'm always excited, and, it's always a good battle.
Do you guys have conversations about tendencies to help you get better at your job?
No, it gets pretty competitive. He wants to win and I want to win, so he doesn't want to give me any secrets. So, yeah, that's about it.
Without giving away secrets, when you say diagnosing a play, what are some, whether it's the quarterback or running back, what are some generic tells that let you know what's coming?
I know in this league we get play action a lot. So the O-line is going to tell you, we call it elephants holding tails. But, when I was a rookie, I would see these O-linemen running really fast, and I would think it's running. It'd probably be a special route or something behind me that, that was my job to do, and I wouldn't do it. So just being able to diagnose that and, play, calm and under control, and it's helped me elevate my game.
Today, or did it seem like everything's new, or what?
No, it's kind of like riding a bike. I've been here for a pretty good while, so it's some things that change. Nothing the same. Everything's always evolving and changing, so it's not the exact same, but it's some familiarities that I'm used to in there.
How similar was the Miami system with McDaniel then to what you did here?
It was similar, but not the same. Everybody has their own ways of doing things, and it's not the same person. Kyle's not at two places, or Mike's not at two places, so it won't be the exact same. But there are familiarities in there, but it's definitely different. But the core of it and the base of it, it's kind of the same.
To get back to being with Bobby Turner, and how much has he influenced your career?
Oh yeah, he's a main part of it. He taught me the game. He taught me stuff that I took from not even being with him, and it's like I went to, even when going to Miami, it was stuff that the coach didn't have to harp on me on, coach me on, or just drill me on, because it was stuff that I learned my first year, rookie year in the league. And like he says, everything's the same. It's a copycat league, you know what I mean? But the things he taught me, I've been using them to this day. Yeah.
It felt good to be back. You could just be saying it just because you've been here before, but I want to know, being out there, knowing that you are familiar with the system and familiar with the faces here, what are the differences being back this time versus when you were here before, if there are any differences, and then what are some similarities?
I would say, I'm not too big on the differences of that, but I would just say the love. Before I came here and where I was at, it was a rough spot for me. You know what I mean? I have nothing to sugarcoat, nothing to lie about, nothing to hide. I was in a rough spot. But as soon as the news started circulating about me coming here, I had so many fans DMing me and texting me, man, we miss you, we love you, and it was just man, it's people that still care and love, and that was the main reasons why I made it kind of sweeter to come back, because it was having those people reach out. It's man, we miss you, we love you, thank you. You know what I mean? It's just all those things go a long way, and you never know what a person's going through. So when you hit those things at the right time, it could be a big difference.
That's the fan base you're talking about? Or?
Yeah, everybody, the fan bases, the coaches, the players that I've seen around. I see some people that I haven't seen since I left, but came back, getting them hugs. It's like we never left. You know what I mean? Just the smiles are just as big. The glass of the eyes are just just as big. So just to seeing those guys, and then it's all an uplift for the spirit.
What was it like leaving here, Jeff? In 2022, they bring in McCaffrey, and then they dealt you away to Miami. Did you pay attention to these guys? Did you feel good that going to a place where you were going to be able to play? What was it like?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely, but I knew coming in this, it's a business, so I kind of knew what was brewing before they made the transaction and Christian actually came here. So I kind of always felt it, and it was the fact that I didn't want to leave, or they didn't really want me to leave, but it was just as far as the business side of it, and me having kids to take care of, a family to take care of, just like everybody else. It was just the business aspect. If I could go back and stay here, I'd most definitely try to find a way. But, everything happened for a reason, I believe. I'm a firm believer in that, and, you never know.
Talking about rough times, you mean the time between last season and coming back here now?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Just how things transpired for me in my last year, and then the off season, how things transpired and was laid out, then the gift of not knowing, you know what I'm saying, having absolutely no clue, that was probably one of the biggest things. But, my faith is what I stand on and what I believe in. So I have a great family, great supporting system, and they always kept me uplifted, even the times when I was down. But, like I said, it's a blessing. Things are looking up, and I'm blessed, and I'm happy to be back in the building.
Sometimes veterans can get to a certain point in their career where they can still play,
yeah,
but teams are looking for younger guys, and they wind up with nowhere to go. Were you starting to think man, I don't know, is there a place for me here?
Yeah, for yourself, you never doubt yourself. You understand that. But like I said, this is not college or high school anymore. You know what I mean? This is the NFL, and like I said, the main sport, the main biggest thing about it is business, and you can't forget that. It's going to be love. You're going to have connections, and you're going to even have people that you deal with for the rest of your life. But at the end of the day, it comes back down to to be in the business. So you got to cherish the moments as much as you can, hold on to them, but also understand that as well. So.
If I'm remembering correctly, when you were last year, it was Brock Purdy's rookie year, and he had not played in a game yet. I know you've only been here a minute, but is there anything you remember about him as a rookie and anything you see differently today on the field?
Oh, definitely. Like he's like a total. It's just his aura. He don't even have to speak. You can just like feel it on him. You can feel his presence. It's like it's kind of crazy because I just talked to him in the locker room. I mean, in the weight room, we just got done lifting. We was kind of just talking about that, and like I was just telling him, man, he was like, "It's good to see you." Telling me the things that I taught him, that I was telling him when he was getting ready to, transpire and go into his groove before everything already started. But it's just like I told him, man, you ain't done yet, man, and the sky's the limit. And I can't wait to see where he continue to go. So Brock's my guy for sure.
I know you told him that, and then you see how it manifested over the next, 2 seasons?
Yeah.
I think maybe it only took a season for him to kind of break out after, I'm guessing, that moment that you guys had. What is that like, to be able to see a guy go from pretty much a boy to a man on the football field?
It's a blessing, but on the same token, on the other side, I'm like, man, am I old? No, you know what I'm saying? No, but it was, that was a beautiful thing to see, though, because, like I said, I know where he was at. I know where his mindset during those times. It's not nothing to harp on or overdo because, where he's at now is where he's supposed to be. And like I said, I just can't wait to continue to see him excel. So, okay, I'm very happy for him. Yeah.
It's only been a few reps, but, it's a different offensive line for you outside of Trent Williams.
Yeah.
How has it felt so far?
It's definitely, it's some getting used to. I got to go back and meet some guys and mingle with some guys and get to know them. That way, we can have a different relationship as far as just on the field. That way, when you do get on the field, it's like, all right, this is my brother. I got you. And I want them to know that I got them. So it's just rekindling those stages, getting back in those relationships and getting back and earning people's trust around here because, I've been here, but it's what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? I'm a big believer in that. So just to gain those guys' trust back and kind of get back and glimpse with them and show them that I'm here to work and I'm not just trying to be, you know what I'm saying? So that's really the main thing about it. Yeah.